Hey there, it's Bob St-Jacques again, and we're back again to answer some more of your questions. The question for this week is, how do we provide psychological safety to people during these times when people are working remotely? Well, I would say, some of the overall structures that apply to enhancing or creating a psychologically safe workplace or psychologically safe team applies in the current situation with a few variations. So, for example, the first piece of advice that typically is given to leaders to create psychologically safe team is that they themselves lead by example. So in this case, one great example of leadership or leading by example that was shown was the Prime Minister of New Zealand, wherein she did an update in her jammies and, taking a call and addressing the nation and giving an update, basically in her pajamas, making it clear that, hey, look, she's tired too. She's had a long day. And no, she's not going to get all dressed up, just to do a presentation. And again, what that does is it signals to the country and her colleagues and so on and so forth that it's okay to dress down a little bit, right? So she's leading by example. She's not just telling. The second piece is, we talk about active listening, but I think we need to get a little bit beyond active listening and start getting into empathetic listening. And by that, I mean active listening is, you listen to what they say, you listen to understand, not to respond. And once they've completed speaking, and then you repeat it back to them to ensure for understanding. That's great. What I want you to think about is going to the next level and actually listening to people's words and looking for two things, right? So you're looking for facts and feelings. So we're accustomed to listening for facts, but listen to the words they use, right? Do they use want or do they use need, right? Think about how they describe the event in terms of, hey, that didn't work versus, hey, I'm a failure, right? So you can see some emotive elements in that. In terms of creating a safe, psychological environment or a psychologically safe environment is, in terms of ensure that they have the opportunity to speak and, make sure that when you're on Zoom calls and so on and so forth, that, you're able to, ask people, look at them, folks that typically don't participate, maybe ask them, questions, ask for their opinion, so that they feel involved in the situation. And then the last piece is, the growth or open mindset, that they talk about leaders, must have. And in this case, it would be, at the end of a Zoom call or a meeting like that, asking for feedback. How did that meeting go? How did I do as the individual who led that call? So, to sum up again, basically in terms of creating a psychologically safe workplace while working from home, the same pieces of advice apply. But I would say, again, keep in mind that you're going to have to do a few more things, right? So in terms of going from active listening to empathetic listening, and, in terms of the open mindset and deliberately and intentionally asking for feedback more than you normally would. Thanks.